What's up, guys? Philip at Trade Genius. I wanted to share with you a setup that's been happening on Fridays after market close with Bitcoin. I think you'll like this setup. Basically, a long trade on Bitcoin when the market's closed. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you that we are running a special. If you put in promo code 50me, that will get you 50% off the following packages down here, either our crypto specials or our ETF specials. So just want to remind you guys about that. All right, let's check out this setup. Here's a chart of Bitcoin, and this is I'm going to show you what happens on Friday. So this line here and subsequent vertical lines are going to be representative of when the cash markets close in the US. So that's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern, and we're talking about the stock indexes, or indices I should say, like the S&P 500, Dow Jones. When the US equity cash session closes at 4 p.m. Eastern on Friday, what we've been noticing is that Bitcoin tends to rise like so. So, basically, if you take like the low to high on this move, if you entered here at 4 p.m., let's just say that's the entry rule. You've got basically a $357 move, $358 move there. Okay, so moving on a week, we'll come to scroll to the next Friday. And here's another line. Okay, so this is again represents 4 p.m. cash close. Okay, so let's say you enter there, and there's a little bit of downward chop, and then it breaks up. So again, you would take, and this ran low to high there on a $415 move from the time you entered, and then it moved up, pulled back, and actually moved even higher. But basically on these, what I would do is I would basically look for, there's a number of things you could do. You could have a candle count and on a smaller time frame, and if you got like a 9 count, you could take profit, or you could trail your stop. This is a 15-minute chart. You could trail your stop below these candles. But just wanted to show you there's plenty of room to grab some profits in here. Okay, so that was the 9th. We can move over to the next week. And here is the 16th. Again, Friday close. What happens? Up we go. That ran all the way into early wee hours before it kind of cooled off. Again, you could just trail these candles is one way of doing it, or you could trail a low. You basically put a stop here and then wait for next low, put a stop. So there's a number of ways you can do it, but the point is that there's a lot of meat on the bone come Friday close. Okay, so this was an excellent move here. You can measure that. Low to high was an $829 move, and that went well into overnight. But even if you didn't want to stay up late and just take like a move like that, there's $388 there, or $526 worth of stuff there before even midnight. So another example of the market tends to want to rise. So basically, you just want to establish what your entry rule is. You could enter right in market close and then start riding up the move, and then trail a stop. If you do trail a stop, you just have to know that sometimes you're going to get stopped out. The other alternative would be to trail a stop. If you do get stopped out, then you also could make a stop where you get caught, catch a move back, taking out a prior high like here. So you get back into it here, and then you would trail a stop again. So it's a couple ways you could do it. And then the other latest Friday would be here. This is the last week Friday. Again, you get into market close, and nice move up. there was $543 worth of price action there that you could trade and get some profit out of. So anyway, I've just been noticing that's happening with pretty good consistency. You've seen it all through this month, and it's happened in the past too. So it's gotten to the point where it's regular enough where you could probably just trade off that setup on Bitcoin. So I thought I'd share that with you. All right, so before we go, just kind of a quick look. Bitcoin has been making some pretty big moves here overnight. It is approaching 5 a.m. Eastern, so the London session has opened, and basically what we got was, we go back to the current chart. We ran up pretty well during the U.S. session, and then we consolidated. This is kind of the Asian session. Didn't really do much, just consolidated, and then boom, as soon as the European market started to wake up, big volume. That's a big volume bar on 15-minute, and broke through all kinds of resistance and broke higher. Now, that's a 15-minute chart. On the 4-hour in the room, we were talking about, we have a descending triangle or a descending wedge, and that's a bullish pattern. And once you break out of that, that's really where we saw this move take off early, about 24 hours ago or so. In the U.S. session took off, and then we consolidated, and then we went back up. If you look at the run from the low to the previous high of 11,700, you'll notice we got into these spots where, so that was our big low that we put in, and then we would consolidate. Probably better drawn like this. We enter a period of consolidation, and then we'd move up, and then you'd have another period of consolidation, and then move up again, and then a little pullback, consolidation, and then move up. So you had basically a series of moves here, 1, 2, 3, and a lot of times you'll see moves like that. These three pushes in a larger move. Okay, and then so it kind of gets fractal. Then you pull back, and this is 3 moves in a larger one move, and then a pull back, and then you get another larger move, and this could have 3 pushes. This could be the first push, and then a series of 3 pushes higher. Ultimately, again, what we're looking for is this 11,700 area to really get breached. We ran up to it, again failed. That was a big spot of failure over here where the markets did their final puke, and so this really has to get taken out. We take that out, and then it's going to be 13,000 on the table. On the daily, here's the important thing. We haven't had a close above this trend line ever. So we did have an attempt here, but again, when we ran up and hit that 11,700 level, it just got smacked. So we never really got a daily close out of this. So if this can do that, and there's a lot of time left in the day, but if this can get a close, or even if we get a couple closes out of that, that's really going to be bullish. And I think it's going to play into this, like I said, inverted head and shoulders pattern that we're working on. So basically you're looking at something like this. The neckline breaks, and then this big level here that we're talking about, once that gets breached, we do have a fib target here, 13,167. I think that was probably a good spot for this thing to run up and grab before a pullback. Likely we'll see a pullback to that level, and then bounce higher. So that's what we're looking at right now, guys, and I think it's looking pretty bullish here. I'd be surprised if this thing did a U-turn. It's clear to this trend line is big deal, and we got over it right now. So unless we get a head fake like we saw here, but I don't think so. Once you bump up against a trend line and you hit it again and break through, 9 times out of 10 that's going to continue. So we will see what happens. Again, we're about $1,000 below this 11,700 level. That's going to be the next really key thing to see break. We do that, and I think we're going to see price run a bit. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. That really helps. And don't forget, check out our specials. 50me is the coupon code if you want to get into the room, or check out our trading signal. As you can see, we have daily buys on here, and those are pretty powerful when you get those, as well as daily sells that triggered at the top here, and didn't get any signals opposite of that until we got down here. Now we're getting some price action back up higher. So those are really good signals for Bitcoin on the daily. They're awesome. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.